Chantilly moves in with Papaia. Three scientists, Papaia, Banani, and Ravioli, and their assistant Igor, who work at Nasal, start getting interested in creationism. Their superiors, concerned, send them to a psychologist, Professor Fagioli, a shady character determined to get them fired by making them look insane. We are in Fagioli's office, where Papaia is undergoing a psychological evaluation. Fagioli, and is it still like that today? I mean, do you still have to take care of your siblings? Papaia, yes, when they have a problem, they call me, and if I refuse to help, Tony, my little papayuccio. Papaia, exactly, Tony. Fagioli, are you talking to the sock? Papaia, me? I thought that... Fagioli, interesting. Takes notes. Papaia, no, wait, Fagioli, please, go on. Papaia, yes, all right. I was saying that if I refuse, well, Mom convinces me to change my mind. Fagioli, I've noticed your sister's a bit of a spender. Papaia, sighs. Let's just say she has a demanding lifestyle. Fagioli, let's talk about a specific incident. Igor, do you want a random one or ranked by price? Savedblog.com. B. Flashback. Papaia's house, living room, afternoon, a few years ago. Papaia opens the door and stops on the threshold, puzzled. His sister is lying on the couch wearing a white bathrobe, enormous sunglasses, and holding a pink cocktail with a tiny umbrella. On the coffee table, scattered papers, a golden fountain pen, and a financial advisor in a suit and tie. Chantilly. I just took out a small, low-interest loan for a 12-session eyebrow treatment with Phoenix Wings effect. Papaia. Wings of what? He looks at the estimate. The amount makes him jump. Papaia. 2,800 euros? Are you insane? Chantilly, smiling. If you want, I can get you a free waxing. Papaia. No, thanks. I'd rather keep my hair. End flashback. Igor. With Chantilly in house, the only real Phoenix was Papaia. He died every time the bank statement arrived, and was reborn with the next charge. But wait, it's not that bad. Papaia even got a free waxing offer. Brilliant idea. At least along with his chest hair, every last shred of dignity would have disappeared too. C's interior, Fagioli's office. Fagioli, so your sister lived with you? Papaia, yes, that was before I got married. Fagioli, you told me your sister's studying something called shopping techniques. Is that right? Papaia, yes, it's an online program, but the exams are in person. Fagioli, interesting. And what exactly does it consist of? Papaia, honestly, I've never fully understood. I just pay the tuition. But once I took her to an exam. Flashback. University classroom turned into a shopping mall. A huge stopwatch hangs above the registers. At the examiner's whistle, a group of female students dash toward the shelves like Olympic athletes. Papaia's sister is wearing a tactical backpack, padded knee pads, and quick grip gloves. She dives into the discount clothes with acrobatic moves, grabbing coats and jeans before the others. Another student tries to grab a beige trench coat. Student. I saw it first. Chantilly, growling. It's mine. I wrote my thesis on this trench. In the chaos, Papaia staggers under the weight of 6 bags full of clothes. End of flashback. Back to Fagioli's office. Fagioli. It seems your sister has a sort of obsession with shopping and beauty treatments. Papaia. Yes, and believe me, they're not cheap. Igor. University. The temple of knowledge. But instead of taking notes, Chantilly and her classmates were taking half-price designer coats. Chantilly was just putting into practice what the professor said on the first day. The difference between a war and a sale? Sales are fought with more ferocity. What kind of university is this? They let students bring their own assistants. Or was it a team exam? One shops, the other collapses. Savedblog.com. D***. Waiting room. Ravioli. We also talked about comets. Paco. Yes. A comet spends most of its time far from the sun, in the deep cold of space. Banani. But once per orbit, it gets very close to the sun. Paco. That's right. And in doing so, the sun's heat causes much of the ice to evaporate and lifts up dust. Ravioli. And that's how the tail forms. Oh, Banani, a beautiful phenomenon to witness. Paco. But comets have little mass, so each close pass to the sun greatly reduces their size. Banani. So over time, comets vanish. Paco. Exactly. And that's why they can't survive for billions of years. Ravioli. So, the fact that comets still exist tells us that the universe can't be billions of years old. Paco. Exactly, Ravioli. Otherwise, we wouldn't have any comets left. SavedBlog.com. E. Flashback. Living room turned into a wellness center. Chantilly is lying on a spa bed wearing sunglasses and a towel wrapped around her head. The beautician and hairdresser move between bottles and hair dryers. Papaia enters and slips on a fallen face mask. Beautician. Okay, now we apply the seaweed. Chantilly. Only the oceanic kind, okay? The others give me allergies. Hairdresser. Shall I start with the color? Chantilly. Phoenix blonde, as always, and be gentle. I'm delicate today. Beautician to another. Fabia, go get the tweezers, the pink glittery ones. Chantilly. To Papaia. If you're going to hang around, at least make me a chamomile tea, but organic. Papaia. This used to be my house. Chantilly. We don't want to call Mom, do we? Papaia. No, of course not. Papaia, now resigned, heads to the kitchen to make the tea. He walks past the spa bed, but trips on a cucumber slice that slid off Chantilly's face. He crashes into the table, sending bottles of cream and face masks flying everywhere. Chantilly. Careful, that was the hyaluronic acid cream. It costs more than your salary. Beautician. Oops, that one was new. We hadn't even opened it yet. Papaia stands up, covered in cream and seaweed. The doorbell rings. Hairdresser checking the tablet. The payment terminal has arrived. Chantilly, excited. Ah, perfect. So, how much is today? Beautician checks. Let's see. Phoenix Wings package. Gold Phoenix's color, organic seaweed, glitter tweezers, damage fee. Total, 1,140 euros. Chantilly to Papaia. Your turn now, Papayucho. Tony. Deluxe treatment, deluxe bill. For the village idiot. Igor. Apparently Chantilly had a Phoenix obsession. Too bad the only thing rising from the ashes was Papaia's credit card bill. Excuse me, but what made Chantilly think the Phoenix was blonde? Maybe it caught fire after one too many bleach jobs? The tale of Papaia. From homeowner to human teabag. If I were you, I'd at least ask for a chamomile sachet as rent. Chantilly threatens to call Mom. Papaia trips on a cucumber. A new case, for Inspector Banani. Banani, frightened. Who, me? Igor, serious. Who's the real victim here? Chantilly, the guest who reeked of mint mask? The mom with her fake heart attacks on the phone? Papaia unable to say no? Banani in crisis. I don't know. Igor, conclusive, solemn. I'll tell you. The real victim was the cucumber. SavedBlog.com. F. Fagioli's office. Fagioli. And why didn't your sister stay living with your mother? Papaia. My mom lives in another city. Well, my place is closer to where Chantilly takes her exams. Or at least that's the excuse. Flashback nasal interior. Papaia is working very focused near the telescope. Technician, Professor, it's ready for the measurement. Papaia, yes, all set, just in time. Technician, perfect. 2 minutes to the solar storm. Papaia, the solar storm of the century. Phenomena like this don't happen every day. Technician, that's why it's important to take the measurement at exactly the right moment. Right then, the phone rings on the display. Mom. Papaia, worried, answers. Mom? I'm in the middle of a very important experiment. Can I call you back? Mom, sharp. Your sister lost her university housing. She's coming to live with you. Papaia, huh? Mom, you have to go open the door for her and help her with the suitcases. You know there are many. Papaia, bring suitcases. Yes, I'll open right away. No, wait. There's a problem. Mom, Papayuccio. What are you talking about? Papaya. I'm not home. I'm at Nassau. Technician. But, Professor, didn't you turn off your phone? Mom, then you have to run there immediately. Papaya, I can't. I'm in the middle of an experiment. Technician. Here we go. Countdown starts. 5, 4, 3. Papaya. Mom, I have to hang up. Talk later. Mom, wait, no. I feel the pressure rising. Papaya. Mom, understand me. I have to start the procedure on time. Technician. Too late. The experiment failed. The next chance to measure this phenomenon is in 125 years. SavedBlog.com. G. Fagili's office. Fagioli, taking notes. Is your sister married? Papaya. No. Fagioli. Does she plan to get married? Papaya. Yes, the problem is, she's a bit too picky. Fagioli. What do you mean by picky? Flashback. Romantic evening in an elegant restaurant. Papaya's sister is seated at a candlelit table. Across from her is a kind, well-dressed guy with a reassuring smile. Boyfriend pulls out a ring. I love you. I have a steady job, my own apartment. Will you marry me? She looks at the ring, then slowly raises her eyes and asks, ice cold, Sister, what kind of car do you drive? Boyfriend proudly. A midnight blue Dacia Duster, Euro 6 low fuel consumption. Sister cuts him off. Oh, no. She stands up, grabs her purse, and leaves without another word. The guy is left sitting there with the ring in his hand and his mouth hanging open. End of flashback. Back to Fagioli's office. Papaya resigned. To her, love is only real if it comes with alloy wheels. Igor. Excuse me, but Chantilly was right. The guy proposed and she didn't even know what car he drove. How long had they known each other? 2 hours? SavedBlog.com. G. Fagili's office. Fagioli, taking notes. Is your sister married? Papaya. No. Fagioli. Does she plan to get married? Papaya. Yes, the problem is she's a bit too picky. Fagioli. What do you mean by picky? Flashback. Romantic evening in an elegant restaurant. Papaya's sister is seated at a candlelit table. Across from her is a kind, well-dressed guy with a reassuring smile. Boyfriend pulls out a ring. I love you, I have a steady job, my own apartment. Will you marry me? She looks at the ring, then slowly raises her eyes and asks, ice cold, Sister, what kind of car do you drive? Boyfriend proudly. A midnight blue Dacia Duster, Euro 6 low fuel consumption. Sister cuts him off. Oh, no. She stands up, grabs her purse, and leaves without another word. The guy is left sitting there with the ring in his hand and his mouth hanging open. End of flashback. Back to Fagioli's office. Papaya resigned. To her, love is only real if it comes with alloy wheels. Igor. Excuse me, but Chantilly was right. The guy proposed and she didn't even know what car he drove? How long had they known each other? 2 hours? SavedBlog.com. H. Waiting room. Banani. One time Papaya told us that comets can end in other ways too. Paco. Yes, that's true. There are 2 other mechanisms that can destroy comets. Ejection from the solar system and collisions with planets. Ravioli. Oh yeah? You mean comets can leave the solar system? Paco. Exactly. Ejections happen when comets pass too close to the giant planets, especially Jupiter, and the gravity of those planets slingshots them out of the solar system. Banani. So basically they get fired out by Jupiter's enormous gravity. Paco. You said it? Ravioli. And does that happen often? Paco. Fairly often. In fact, ejections have been observed many times. Banani. And collisions with planets happen when comets get even closer. Paco. Too close, I'd say. So close that they get pulled in by the planet's gravitational field. Ravioli. And that happens a lot. Paco. It's a rarer phenomenon. In fact, the first observed collision was in 1994, when comet Shoemaker Levy IX crashed into Jupiter. SavedBlog.com. I. Fagioli's office. Fagioli. So, let's say she's a bit materialistic. Papaia. I assure you the only topic I've ever seen her show interest in is luxury. Tony. And what does she need a husband for? Papaya's already paying all her bills. Ah ha ha. Papaia. Wait, Tony. Now that I think of it, she did fall in love once. Igor. Technically, Chantilly isn't looking for a soulmate. She's looking for a compatible bank account. Flashback inside bank. Chantilly is sitting in front of a bank clerk with a crooked tie and thick glasses. Clerk. I'm sorry, miss. We can't approve another loan. Besides, it shows here that your name is on the blacklist of bad payers. Chantilly. But it's not my fault. It's my brother who didn't pay on time. Clerk. Excuse me? The account is under your name. Chantilly. No, excuse me. But that's splitting hairs. Everyone knows Papaia pays my bills. I don't see why we're getting lost in these insignificant details. Clerk. Ma'am, that doesn't sound insignificant to me. You're an adult and responsible for your own bills. Your brother has nothing to do with your problems. Chantilly. That's too much. I'm calling Mom right now. She's got a solid argument to present to you. Chantilly, to herself. Yeah, very solid argument. The baseball bat. Suddenly, a robber wearing a ski mask bursts in. Robber, shouting, Everybody down. This is a robbery. Chantilly dives to the ground, but slowly lifts her head. The robber points a gun at the cashier and tosses him a plastic bag. Robber to the cashier. You, put the money in here. Waves the gun. Robber, and make it full. Chantilly watches the robber, his bag stuffed with banknotes, his confident stance. Her eyes glisten. The scene slows down slightly. Sister, whispering. He's the man I've been looking for. Fagioli, voiceover. Now he knew how to get a loan. The robber notices her. The cashier hands over the full bag. The robber quickly checks it. Robber, good. He points again at the cashier. Robber, hands on the counter, and no funny business. Then threatens the customers on the ground. Robber, and the rest of you stay down, no funny moves. He fires a shot in the air. Everyone flinches. Robber to Chantilly. You're coming with me. He grabs her as a hostage to flee. She smiles dreamily as they exit the bank. End of flashback. Back to Fagioli's office. Fagioli. And she fell in love with the robber? Savedblog.com. I too, Igor. Chantilly considered the name on the loan a ridiculous and insignificant detail. Like the ATM PIN, the card's expiration date, or the very concept of consequences. In Papaya's family, talking calmly means deciding whether to grip the bat with one or two hands. Chantilly had a crush on the robber. Love at first robbery. Some dream of a man with flowers. Others of one with a full sack and a criminal record. Finally, a man who made her feel safe by threatening everyone with a Glock. And that's not love, it's deluxe Stockholm syndrome. She fell in love at first shot. So romantic. When he said, hands up, she thought it was a proposal. Finally, a man who wouldn't ask her to pay. He just stole everything directly. There was tension, danger, money. All that was missing were the wedding favors. One day you're in a bank, the next you're picking wedding rings with someone wanted in 3 provinces. Finally, a man who knows how to assert himself. With a firearm. Her ideal type? Tall, charming, and a rap sheet a mile long. Some want a man with a bank account. She wants one who empties the bank directly. That when the robber said, come with me, he had no idea what was waiting for him. He went in for a robbery, came out in a toxic relationship with a manicure set included. And what that you come with me cost him 3 credit cards and a mortgage on his freedom. He went from outlaw to caregiver in under a minute. The truth, the real hostage was him. He thought he was running for justice. Instead, he found Chantilly. The robber wanted cash. He got a loyalty card from the beauty salon. Savedblog.com. J, flashback nasal, coffee break room. Papaya is at the coffee machine, stirring his plastic cup when his phone rings. On the display, Mom. Papaya answers. Hello, Mom. Mom, agitated. Papaya, your sister hasn't come home for days. She's not answering messages. I haven't heard from her since Tuesday. Papaya sighs. Actually, she called me really quickly yesterday. Said she was fine. Mom. Fine where? And with whom? Papaya. She didn't say. She only said she was happy. Sounded like she was in a car. Papaya looks out the window, thoughtful. The distant roar of a car speeding off is heard. Nasal technician passing by. Did you hear that screech too? Papaya. Yes, unfortunately. Flashback. A week later on a country road, the sister and the robber are in a stolen car, speeding down the road. Chantilly, holding on to him. Finally, someone who knows how to take what they want. Sirens. The police stop them. The robber is arrested. She is taken to the station. End of flashback. Fagioli's office. Papaya. Isn't that strange? Fagioli. I'd say no. Classic. Igor. Take what she wants, huh? Like 3 years probation? Savedblog.com. K. Fagioli's office. Fagioli. But now she doesn't live with you anymore, right? Papaya. No, not anymore. I got married. But at first, she still lived with us. Flashback. Papaya's apartment. Evening. Papaya and his wife are sitting on the bed. The door is closed. In the distance, the sister can be heard laughing while watching a shopping channel in the living room. Wife. We have to tell her. We can't go on like this. It's our home, not an outlet warehouse. Papaya. I know, it's just that she doesn't have anywhere else. And she's my sister. Wife. She's eating our dinner while wearing my robe and speaking to Alexa in French. If you don't say anything, I will. Cut to living room. The sister is lying on a chaise lounge wearing a bathrobe and a face mask. She's eating macarons from a golden box and stroking a cashmere pashmina. Papaya. We need to talk to you about something. Chantilly. If it's about the remote, I already booked movie night. Tonight they're showing Pretty Woman Deluxe Restored Shopping Edition. Wife. No, it's about living together. We were wondering if maybe you had thought about finding your own place. Chantilly. Dramatic pause, then sets down macaron. My own place? Of course. I've thought of everything. A tent on the terrace, an abandoned doghouse. Maybe I'll pretend to be an ornamental vase in the mall and stay there. Papaya, confused. So, you don't have a plan? Chantilly, with faint, tragic voice. Papaya, I have nothing else. Everything I own is here. My memories, my collection of thermal pink salt patches, my cruelty-free silk pillowcases. Wife, shaken but determined. We don't have anything else either, like living space. Papaya, looking at her unsure. Maybe we can find a compromise. Maybe a whole room for you. Wife cutting. What a coincidence. That's the one I sleep in. Igor, Pretty Woman Deluxe Restored Shopping Edition. Is that the new edition where Julia Roberts learns to pay with Papaya's credit card? Chantilly's new place? Pretending to be an ornamental vase? Or maybe she becomes a store mannequin. At least she'll stop wearing Papaya's wife's robe. The wife claimed that with Chantilly and all her stuff, there was no more living space left. Well, technically, there's still space. Between the cream jars and the aroma diffuser, sir, just have to sleep curled up. What a great idea, Papaya. Giving your room to Chantilly? That way Chantilly finally gets an ensuite bathroom. And you get to discover the sofa bed in survival mode. Saveblog.com. L** waiting room. Ravioli. How long does it take for a comet to burn out? Paco. A long time, but not forever. Considering the rates of loss, it's easy to calculate a maximum age for comets. This maximum age is only a few million years. Banani. So how do we explain that there are so many of them? Paco. Obviously their abundance makes sense only if the entire solar system was created just a few thousand years ago, but not if it formed billions of years ago. Savedblog.com. Flashback. 2 weeks later. Papaya's wife, annoyed. This apartment is a mess. There are bags everywhere and the oven is occupied by a UV nail lamp. Papaya, trying to downplay. It's just a creative phase. Chantilly is going through an inner renewal period. Papaya's wife, pointing at the table, exasperated. Aesthetic treatment quotes, a glitter wig, and a flaxseed yogurt forgotten for 3 days. Is it renewal or decomposition? Papaya, confused. Maybe the yogurt is part of the facial treatment? He opens the shower door and freezes at the scene. A tower of shampoo, conditioners, 3 teacups, a pink blanket, and the facial steamer turned on. Ugh, Papaya, shouting. You can't live in here anymore. Papaya's wife, from outside, now desperate. If your sister doesn't move out by tomorrow, I'm moving out. Papaya. Wait, let's find a solution. Too late. His wife is already at the door, suitcase in hand. Wife, coldly. It's either her or me. Choose. Chantilly is sitting on the bed, surrounded by clothes, with a towel turban on her head and cucumber slices on her eyes. Chantilly, without moving. Don't exaggerate. If needed, I can free up the oven. Igor. Ah, yes. The UV nail lamp in the oven. Classic post-apocalyptic nail spa with dinner service included. Style home. Yogurt decomposing. I'd say more like a sensory journey between beauty treatment and mold. Yo. When Papaya moved the shower curtain, that steamer made him change his mind, realizing the only steam there was from his nervous breakdown. Chantilly knew it. It's known that when a relationship is in crisis, the only way out is giving back the oven. SavedBlog.com. N. Fagioli's office stay. Fagioli. But then did you tell her? How did she react? Papaya. Not very well. Flashback. Papaya's apartment. The doorbell rings. Papaya opens the door. A courier with a pallet jack is dragging a huge mirror with a golden frame shaped like angel wings. Courier. Delivery for the miss. Full body motivational transformational mirror. Papaya swallows. Another one? His wife peeks from the hallway, slams the door. Wife, exasperated. Enough. Either you talk to your sister or I do, but this time with a megaphone. A little later, Chantilly's in the living room, busy photographing the new mirror for social media. ##newme. Papaya, uncomfortable. Can we talk for a moment? Chantilly, without turning. If it's about the bathroom, I'll be there in 10 minutes. I'm channeling my inner energy. Papaya. It's about all this, the living situation. It's getting difficult. She slowly turns around, removing a moisturizing glove from one hand with dramatic slowness. Chantilly. Difficult for who? Papaya, trying to stay calm. For everyone. I think it's time for you to find your own place. Maybe temporary with mom. Silence. His sister stares at him like he just told her to jump off a bridge. Chantilly. Hurt. You want to kick me out? You? The brother who brought me tea when my shoes hurt me. Papaya. That's not exactly it. Chantilly, standing up, theatrical. No, it's worse. It's a betrayal. Igor, another giant swan-shaped mirror. At this point, the motivational mirror should have started motivating the courier. Chantilly was channeling inner energy. Papaya, don't rush. Either you let her channel it, or mom will channel you. Baseball bat. Inner energy versus kinetic energy. SavedBlog.com. Oh, flashback. Living room. A few hours later. Papaya. Hey, little sister. Big news. I found you a studio apartment. Cute, cheerful. It even has that mirror with the built-in light. Chantilly. A studio apartment? And that's supposed to be big news? Papaya. Well, yes. It's the first step towards your emancipation. And it's just a few minutes from the university campus. More convenient for your exams. Chantilly. You're trying to kick me out. Papaya. No. It's a proposal. A kind one. Supported by your sister-in-law. With a threatening tone. Chantilly. Fine, let's hear what mom thinks. Papaya. I already called her. She agrees with me. Chantilly. You're bluffing. Nice try, but I'm not falling for it. She dials the number, throwing accusing looks at Papaya. Chantilly. Furious on the phone. Mom, Papaya wants to kick me out. He says I should live in a studio apartment with a parking lot view. Please tell me I'm crazy. Mom, sharp. Crazy? Crazy is still going out with that unemployed stuntman. Chantilly, shocked, incredulous. Excuse me? What did you just say? Mom, pressing. Teo, yes. The one who lives day to day and trains by jumping off sofas. What future do you think you have with someone like that? At least in that studio, you'll be farther from him and closer to university. Chantilly, slowly in a low voice. But how do you know about Teo? Cold pause, then the firm reply. Mom, your brother told me. Chantilly slowly lowers phone. She stares at Papaia with a betrayed look, as if she didn't recognize him. Chantilly, low voice full of venom. You talked about Teo. To Mom. Papaia, sorry, but it was the only way. Chantilly, like a humiliated queen. I never expected a stab in the back from my own blood. We slept under the same roof, Papaia. Papaia, I'm sorry, but Clara would have left me. Chantilly, dramatic. Fine, I'm leaving. But I'll write a poem about this betrayal. And I'll read it to my audience on Instagram. Papaia, just make sure you read it from your new studio apartment. A few hours later, Chantilly, with 3 suitcases, a makeup bag, a shoe holder, and 2 neon synthetic coats, is getting into a taxi. Papaia holds the door open for her. Chantilly, cold. I'll pick up the other stuff later. Papaia, I'm sorry. Chantilly, getting into the taxi. Not me. The taxi drives off. End of flashback. Igor. The wife's proposal was a polite one, like those letters from the tax agency. Courteous, but just reading them makes your hands sweat. Papaia snitched on Teo, the only man who truly leveled up, by throwing himself onto the living room rug. Chantilly's revenge was not to be underestimated. She wanted to write a poem against Papaia and read it publicly. In fact, she was ready to turn Papaia into the most viral meme on the internet. Papaia would regret kicking Chantilly out. Now, who would understand Alexa answering in French? SaveItBlog.com, pi*, waiting room. Ravioli. And what do evolutionary astronomers say? Paco. They answered this problem by stating that comets must come from 2 sources. Banani. Oh yeah, and which ones? Paco. They proposed that a Kuiper belt, beyond Neptune's orbit, hosts the short-period comets, comets with orbits less than 200 years, and that a much larger and more distant Oort cloud hosts the long-period comets, comets with orbits longer than 200 years. Banani. Is that possible? Paco. No. Now I'll explain. SavedBlog.com. Q. Fagioli's office. Fagioli. So how did it end? Papaia. Chantilly got married and now lives in a house she owns. Fagioli. Really? But earlier you said she wasn't married. Papaia. No, actually, today she's divorced. She married a rich guy and the house was given to her by the judge in the divorce. Fagioli. A real jackpot. Also for you, Papaia. Saving on rent. Papaia. Indeed, things worked out. Fagioli. Tell me how it went. We still have about half an hour to fill. Igor. By this point, Fagioli had long stopped taking notes and was already looking for popcorn. Flashback Black Friday morning. Outside a perfume shop, cold lights, a wild crowd pressed behind the transparent doors. In the front row, Papaia's sister wears sporty sunglasses, compression tracksuit, and shopping grip gloves, eyes fixed on the automatic door. On the other side of the glass door, a security guard checks that everything is under control. Mall announcer, metallic voice. Attention, the doors will open now. But Chantilly, too hyped, violently throws open the door before everyone else. The glass pane hits the security guard full in the face, knocking him backward to the ground. As the crowd rushes like a pack of wild animals, Chantilly runs over. Chantilly, worried, kneeling beside him. Oh no, you have a beautiful jaw. Are you there? Can you hear me? He slowly opens one eye. She looks closely at him, he with a hoarse voice. Security. What a hit. Right on target. You fight? Chantilly, sighing. Only for what's worth it. Their eyes meet. Love at first sight. Romantic music distorted by a crazy Bluetooth speaker. Igor. From that day, the surveillance camera staff nicknamed her the Bulldozer. Not only dangerous, but unstoppable. What things is Chantilly willing to fight for? Here's the list. Over 100 euros, at least 50% off, preferably limited edition. And of course, with an Instagrammable package. Savedblog.com. R. Fagioli's office back to present, Papaia. And that's how it all started. Fagioli. Yeah, but didn't you say the guy had loads of money? Then why was he working as a bouncer? Papaia. Actually, the bouncer job was just to fund his boxing career. Fagioli, a boxer? Still not seeing any of that money. Papaia, not just any boxer, he became world champion. Igor, a boxer? Well, at least he was better than the last guy. Instead of flopping onto Papaia's couch like Teo, the unemployed stuntman. The boxer punched it to train. Flashback, World Boxing Championship. A packed arena, blinding lights, crowd going wild. Chantilly's husband has just won the heavyweight world title. Bruised all over, but triumphant, he stands in the center of the ring, arms raised high. The announcer yells into the mic, "Announcer, ladies and gentlemen, the new heavyweight champion of the world, Rocco Shopping Fist, Bianchi." The crowd goes wild. Rocco, bleeding but energized, grabs the mic and starts shouting with raw emotion. Rocco, sobbing and yelling, "Chantilly!" He keeps screaming her name, stumbling through confetti and camera flashes, searching for her in the stands. Rocco, "Chantilly!" Chantilly is seated in the crowd. Blush, satin dress, pink faux fur coat, waterproof makeup untouched. Rocco pushes through fans, tossing aside 2 PR staffers. She runs to the ring. They embrace. Kisses, tears, camera flashes. The commentator, moved to tears. Commentator. This wasn't just a match won. It was the triumph of love and shopping. Fagioli's office, back to present. Fagioli. Now I get it. Your sister hit the jackpot. Igor. Exactly, Fagioli. Their relationship was built on this. Rocco was the champ in the ring, but at home he was just a walking wallet. He paid, carried the bags, and every now and then got to hold the receipt. While Rocco fought for glory, Chantilly fought for 70% off. Each month, Rocco defended a title belt. Each month, Chantilly replaced it with a vegan leather one. Rocco was the boxer, but the one who KO'd the bank account was her waiting room. Ravioli. What were we saying? Paco. We were talking about 2 hypothetical sources of comets that evolutionist astronomers use to solve the problem of comets running out too quickly. Banani. Ah, yes. You were explaining why this idea doesn't work. Paco. It's not that it doesn't work. The problem is that there's no proof of the existence of the supposed Oort cloud, and there probably never will be. Ravioli. And why are you so sure about that? Paco. See, Ravioli, in the last 20 years, astronomers have discovered thousands of asteroids orbiting beyond Neptune, and it's assumed they make up the Kuiper belt. Banani. Yeah, so, doesn't that support their hypothesis? Paco. The problem is the large size of these asteroids. Pluto is one of the biggest, and the difference in composition between these asteroids and comets casts doubt on this conclusion. Ravioli. Sorry, I don't get it. Why can't comets come from there? Paco, let me explain. Suppose comets did come from there. What would you expect to find when observing with a telescope? Banani, the comets themselves? Paco, obviously. But instead we find objects much larger than the comets we usually observe. Ravioli, maybe they could form because of a collision. Paco, yes, that's possible, but highly unlikely. And even if it happened, the material those asteroids are made of isn't the same as what we observe in comets. Banani. Ah, I see. If the comets really came from there, we should find them with the same size and chemical composition. Paco. Exactly. But that doesn't happen. Savedblog.com. T. Fagioli's office. Fagioli. So, how did it go? Papaya. The marriage lasted 3 months. Then they divorced, but she got the house. Fagioli. Well, at least one problem was solved. Papaya. Yeah, but the boxer's pension only covers her shoes. The rest is on me. Igor, poor Rocco. He lost the title, the house, and the credit card. Nasal. Papaya is watching a comet passing by. The technician is busy adjusting settings at the nearby station. Technician. It'll arrive in a minute. Be ready, Professor. It's a rare chance. Papaya. Yes, I've got everything under control. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Suddenly, Papaya's phone rings, breaking the observation mood. Papaya answers the phone. Hello? Chantilly, anxious voice. Hi, Papaya. I got divorced. Papaya, surprised. Divorced, but what happened? Chantilly. I was at the boutique. The card wouldn't go through. I called him, and you know what he said? Papaya. What did he say? Chantilly. He told me, take a dress off the bill. Can you believe it? He asked me to cancel a purchase. Papaya. What? Chantilly breaks into tears, and I left him immediately. Such humiliation, in front of everyone. Me, leaving a dress in the store? Papaya. What do you mean? Chantilly. Not listening. But thank God the judge gave me the house. That's it, nothing else to say. Papaya. Wait, are you telling me you left him over a dress? Chantilly. It's not just a dress, Papaya. You don't get it. As usual, forget it. It's complicated. Anyway, the house is mine, and that's what counts. Papaya. Ah, good. But, sister. Hi. Talk later. She hangs up. Papaya closes the phone, looking at the sky, clearly confused. Technician. Have you taken the measurements, Professor? Papaya. Yeah, I'm sending them now. Clicks the mouse. The technician receives something on his computer. He opens it. Technician. What is this? On the screen, a high-res photo zoomed in on Ravioli's face, who from the window of the other pavilion, mouth open, is about to eat one of his little pizzas. Papaya. Oops, here's what happened. I switched the angles. Technician. Perfect. Maybe we should send this to the Close Encounters of the Third Kind department. End of flashback. Savedblog.com. You, Fagioli's office. Fagioli, Papaya, this story about the comet and your sister. It's turning into a soap opera. Papaya. But, Fagioli, it happened a long time ago. I don't... Fagioli. No, listen. This exactly confirms what I was telling you before. A distraction... Distraction mechanism. You can't focus. You're risking your job. Papaya. I didn't mean to. It's just that... Fagioli. But the good news is we have one more reason to fire you. I meant... understand you. Understand your problems and fire you better. I mean, help you better. Papaya. Thanks. Tony. The camera's recording everything. Remember that, Fagioli? Fagioli. Yes, of course. That's the important thing. Tony, then we'll do some nice editing on the video. Copy from here, paste over there. Fagioli? Yes, and that's done. Papaya. But what are you guys talking about? Fagioli. Excuse me, Professor, but who are you talking to? Papaya. To her in the sock. Fagioli. What sock? There's no sock here. Papaya. Yes, there is. You were just using it a moment ago. Fagioli. Interesting. Takes notes. Igor. By the end of the video, it'll look like Fagioli saved a panda, adopted an orphan, and hugged Papaya, all in 3 minutes. Tony says with 2 cuts and a vintage filter, even Fagioli looks human. But a miracle is needed in post-production. In the final edit, Papaya seemed to be asking to be fired, and Fagioli looked like he was hesitating out of pity. SavedBlog.com. Thanks for watching.